change that?
No.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's quite perfect.
What do you have to share? As an equal, then.
Okay, I have a question about the subject of compassion.
Compassion.
Yes, I've had this question in my mind for about 4 months.
Oh, all right.
And I've examined it every which way, and I can't come up with the answer.
All right. What is the question you have created?
Okay, the question is this.
Oh, one moment. What is the answer you have that you have formulated in the format of a question? You do have the answer. A question is simply an answer that you place outside yourself.
Okay. Well, then maybe I have a statement.
Thank you.
It's a statement.
Make a statement.
Okay. I like to think of myself as a warm and caring and loving person.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay. I have found that the more I understand how each one of us creates his own reality, that I'm having difficulty feeling compassionate towards certain people and situations. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay. I don't like the way I feel.
Oh, all right.
For instance, this is awful. The homeless.
Homeless.
Okay, I see a lot of homeless people.
Oh, all right.
And I think to myself, the old me used to say, oh, those poor people, what can I do to help them?
Yes.
And the new me is saying, you know, they created their own reality because they want to be in this choice.
One moment.
And I don't like that.
One moment. You have created what is classically in your language called a misunderstanding of the concept.
Okay.
Compassion in no way, shape, or form says you can't help. If you have attracted yourself to see those individuals, then you have been attracted to be of service. The idea of compassion is not taking responsibility for them, however. Is not giving them sympathy to reinforce the negativity they have already created with their misunderstanding of their connection to the infinite, with their belief of their lack of connection to the infinite. Compassion does not mean you do not help. Compassion simply means you do not take responsibility for them. Compassion means you live the life that is representative of who you are to the fullest, so you can be the best reflective example you can be to them. That is what helps them. By all means, interact with them. Compassion in no way, shape, or form prevents you from interacting with individuals you attract into your life that may require some assistance, some guidance. There is nothing that says compassion cannot guide. There is nothing that says compassion cannot reflect. Are we not reflecting ideas to you?
Yes, you are.
We know you create your own reality. But it is our compassion that allows us to desire to share with you that there are many ways you could create your reality, but in no way, shape, or form do we take responsibility for what you decide to choose, even after we have given you a reflection.
That's true.
Understand?
I understand completely.
Well, thank you very much.
I thank you very much.
Thank you for your compassion.
Thanks.
Shitting!
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day, Strawberry.
Bashar, I have a lot to share with you.
Oh, all right.
My mother is healthy, alive, vibrant, beautiful, loving. As you know, a number of months ago, as we count time, she was told by a doctor that she had terminal cancer and was going to die within a very short period of time. They gave her no hope, told her to go home and die.
Yes.
And we undertook a program to resolve that, and she is now completely healthy from every aspect that we can find.
We thank you. We thank you for being so bold and so full of conviction.
Thank you.
And so full of love.
Thank you. Now, along with the creation of that game, her sister, my Aunt Connie, out of, in my observation, love and compassion, went with her and traveled with us in the program. Part of the program was we went down to a health clinic in Mexico, Don's Box Clinic.
All right.
And she went through this particular program. And in my perception, didn't really need it the way my mother did. It wasn't part of the vibration, but she was doing it out of love and caring.
All right.
Support for my mother.
Guys.
Now, about last November, as we count time, she began to develop a rash of some sort over her body. This continued to develop to the point where she was put in the hospital about a week ago with and now put on a respirator, went into a coma. Her body is covered with a scaly purple device. As my mom says, she almost looks like a monster, horrible to look at, in a condition much worse than my mother had. There is so much that I have been reflecting. We've been doing a lot of telepathic communication. I can almost see a blending in the mass consciousness between what has been two separate ideologies in our culture. One, the nutritional movement on one hand, which says that the body can be handled through nutritional means. The relatively limited, narrow viewpoints of the medical profession and the political overtones, and that don't allow them to look beyond those particular limits. And the spiritual and the mental. We blended these three things. And as far as I can be able to see, there is possibly, this is the service that Connie is going through, but we are, and myself, finding a tremendous amount of agitative energy in attempting to see all of the positive of this, to be able to flow love, to see you're vibrant. A lot of things going on here.
We will share with you at this time that it is our perspective that there is a high degree of probability that after having served your mother, this individual may be fulfilling a certain idea of their own karma and may take themselves into non-physical reality. It is a high degree of probability. However, there are some things that can be learned, and there is a potential for, in your terminology, reversing this effect. However,
I want to interrupt you right at this point. I'm going to say something to you. Charlene called me, and she said you reflected regarding her father that there was a high probability that he would no longer live in this life. And I said to her, she said, Bashar said this, and I said, bullshit, Bashar. I said, bullshit on this idea. Now, I love this from the viewpoint of, we're not going to take this prediction.
It is not a prediction.
Energy.
It is not a prediction.
Okay, what is it?
It is a sensing of the energy right at the moment.
Aha.
Right at the moment.
Very nice.
That's it.
We will transform that. Go.
Yes.
Okay.
What this requires, now that we may continue, for the transformational energy, is the help of a particular specific direction, a specific connection to certain types of earth energy that can best be delivered by what may be called a type of sprite energy. One moment. Erica! She will help you.
Lovely. I would love to be helped by her.
Ask for her to impart some of the information she is now learning about the idea of certain connections to the powers inherent in your natural earth. All right?
Yes, and delineate a little bit more, Bashar.
She will.
She will.
Yes.
You won't.
No.
Thank you, Bashar. You're a delight. I love you. It was wonderful to be part of this. This is, of course, also Shiloh's loving request to have this data. Thank you for your sharing. Thank you for your love, your caring. It's a delight to be part of this turn.
We thank you very much, and may we remind you that you have been a delightful and sweet and succulent juice.
Thank you, baby.
Shutting.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I just wanted to share with you that a friend of mine who was recently pregnant had her baby last night.
All right.
And the first birth that she had, this was her second, and the first birth she had was real difficult. And the second one, after some information that you, gave to her, her second birth was so much easier, and she wanted me to tell you thanks for the information. And it was something to the effect of being more of a vehicle.
We thank you, and we thank her for allowing the total event to be what she is, so that all the energy could be of assistance rather than simply taking the burden on herself, isolated in a specific way, alone.
Thanks.
We thank you.
I also have a question.
Yes.
My father-in-law died about a year ago, and my mother-in-law has been sort of in limbo, I suppose you might say. And I was wondering, is there any way that my husband and I could assist her in sort of transforming through this stage of her life?
It is our perception that perhaps what can assist her greatly is the literature that already exists in your society dealing with the idea of what you call life after physical death. If she can familiarize herself with the idea of what that, shall we say, terrain is all about, she will open herself to sensitivity, to sensitize herself to have her own communications in a more conscious way.
Would she be willing to trust her own dreams?
Yes, but the information can come in a more conscious fashion, more in the form of a conscious meditation as she is absorbing the information in those books that already exist.
Okay, I have one more question real quick. Why is my dog acting so strangely?
Strange in what way?
She's just she's really upset, and she's walking around the house, and she isn't looking, she's looking for something and not finding anything, and she just seems to be generally disrupted.
Are you contemplating in any way, shape, or form a physiological move?
Oh, not soon in the future.
Have you contemplated a particular place that you might be moving to?
Yes.
Where?
Olympia, Seattle, or near Washington State.
Why?
We just thought we might experience the Pacific Northwest a little bit more deeply.
Why?
We wanted to, my husband and I just like the idea.
What is the energy you know is there? How does it feel?
It feels good. It's green and clean and...
All right. Green and clean. All right. In your terminology, when will you go?
A year and a half? A year?
Is that a question?
I'm not sure.
2 questions. All right. Are you going to try for 6 months?
I'd love to go in 6 months.
How about 3?
6 months.
All right. Why 6?
I think there's some things I've started at this point that I should finish before I leave.
All right. 3 months it is. Communicate to your animal the essence of the feeling of the green and the clean. It will help to orient, because the animal is only being a magnetic compass needle for fluctuations in your own indecisions about what it is you think you have to clean up.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Shutting.
Hola, compadre.
And to you, good day.
Hello, Bashar. First, I'd like to tell you that I'm here because of 2 gifts.
Speak up so that all may share.
I am here thanks to 2 gifts from my friend and your friend, Victoria Collins.
All right.
She is right there. Number 1, she introduced me to you about 2 years ago. And number 2, I'm here because even though her name was selected, she decided to give this to me for my birthday present. So
all right.
The greeting that I give to you is from both of us.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And thank you for the gift you have given to us of both of yourselves.
Oh, with our greatest pleasure, I assure you. Over the 2 years that I've had the pleasure of playing with your tools and growing and expanding and accelerating, there is not enough time to tell you all of the wonderful experiences that have occurred, so I'm just going to ask you to feel that.
Oh, already done.
All right, thank you. The primary tool that I'd like to just mention tonight in the way of a sharing is the tool called Follow Your Excitement, which I believe we've heard about tonight. Okay, well, I've enjoyed experimenting with that tool in larger and larger steps as I learned to trust that truly does work for me. And the most recent example of that is an opportunity that I was given about 2 days ago to go to Spain and be paid to run the research aspect of diving for buried treasure.
All right.
6 months ago, I would have invalidated that idea because I was still testing the tools on a lower gradient.
All right.
And now I can say, thanks to you, I am truly ready.
All thanks to you.
As I was driving over here tonight, I was thinking, what questions could I ask? Because as you all can imagine, there are lots of questions I could ask regarding locating the treasure, which from a research point of view is basically our job. And lots of opportunities to judge oneself, possibly, at least in prior ways of thinking, lots of opportunities for others to judge us. And I just realized with all of these tools, there really is no need for that whatsoever.
We thank you. You will also discover certain ideas of the culture in the area you call Portugal. That will awaken some past memories for you.
Well, that's very interesting that you mentioned that. I was not aware of that, but I'm very, very aware of the excitement that Spain has always held for me.
Yes.
I have been there before.
Oh, yes.
But this particular, this time.
I know.
But this particular time, even though I've been invited many times before, this is the time. I'm truly, truly ready as a being. And there is incredible synchronicity going on right now with a parallel dimension that I'm very much aware of as a nun in Spain right now. And the reason that I am so desiring to speak Spanish now here is that I had agreed to take a vow of silence. I have agreed to take a vow of silence there for certain disagreements with the church, etc. And now I find that priests are probably going to be assisting me in my translations, which I also find very interesting, and so on and so on. One thing I would like to share with you is that one of the tools you have taught us is that experiences that we used to label negative or positive, but particularly negative, were opportunities to learn. And I have experimented with that so much now that I really feel that tool is mine. And as I was driving down here tonight, I realized now that that is really my tool, now I have something positive to look forward to, and that is an opportunity to learn. In other words, I don't need to view just the negative things as opportunities to learn. I already know that. So now everything is an opportunity to learn, which probably I knew, but I was always focusing on the negative part of it. So there isn't anything negative anymore.
Well, thank you.
As you have shared with us before.
By the way,
yes,
the Gilded Cross belonged to you.
Woo. Is that why my name is Faith, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, I'm moving on down this list here. It's all related, but I try to get organized. I am getting organized here. Okay. Even though I don't have any questions for you, I certainly invite your co-creation and perceptions having to do with this particular venture we're on.
I have just given it to you. The Gilded Cross belonged to you.
All right.
Are you operating out of the area that is called Cadiz?
That is unknown at this particular time.
All right. Will you take a trek to the Pyrenees?
Well, this is underwater treasure, so I rather doubt that.
We shall see.
However, I need to look at a map and see where the Pyrenees are. I'm not sure.
All right.
But that's an interesting question, and I will definitely check out the Pyrenees.
These are the things we are allowed to share.
There
are many kinds of treasure chests. You will be opening more than one.
Right, and
each will be on a different level.
Right.
Physical, astral, ethereal, causal, mental.
I understand. I wrote down right here, see if I could beat you to this, because I was quite sure somewhere along the line you'd say that the primary buried treasure that I would discover is another aspect of myself that I have yet to discover.
There is that, but you can create now. You have created a sufficient amount of energy to create now in this physiological endeavor the opening of those treasures on each and every level, including the physical. You can reflect and parallel all the different levels, all the way, as you say, down to the physical.
That's very, very exciting. I certainly am excited about hearing about that, and I will be excited about integrating it and making it more and more part of my, do I dare say part of my reality, as if it were not right now?
Thank you very much. Also, when you see the white plaster walls, there will be a very strong memory for you. Let it come in, as you say, through your sense of smell as well. For you may even visualize the paint that used to be on your hands as you mastered those frescoes.
Very interesting.
Thank you very much.
Wait, I just want to close.
No.
I just want to express our gratitude.
It is already expressed.
Keep in touch.
Have never been out of touch. One moment. We would, at this time, remind each and every one of you now, for various specific reasons, that in your endeavors of exploration of all the ideas of non-physical reality, that you remember that you chose your physical expression. And any time you find yourself becoming disoriented, unlocked from the physical reality, we would remind you to do something very physical in that sense. One suggestion we have given will be to allow yourself to relate to the physiological earth, to the idea of the growing things, the green things, and also for the idea of grounding yourself and orienting yourself for what you may call lively physical action. The idea we had suggested to another individual is to take a very strong board and a hammer and pound some nails into it. This can be a very, very strong meditation. You might be surprised. But orient yourself to the understanding that the physical reality is just as blessed as all other levels, or it wouldn't exist. At this time, to allow you to enjoy a little bit more of your physical reality, you may take a break. We will resume contact in approximately 10 to 15 of your minutes maximum.
Remember, please, 10 to 15 minutes. When I call you, please come back, because we can't get started until everybody's seated and quiet. There's refreshments in the other room.
I'll say, before we continue, one further word on the idea of the workshop interaction that we will be having with many of you. It is designed in a triad section. The first section being what is called persona reconstruction. The second section being what is called the generation of excitement and abundance. The third section being called the idea of astral expansion. It will, in that sense, shall we say, be taught in a triad fashion. Myself, I will commence with the idea of persona reconstruction. Anima will undertake the idea of excitement and abundance, the feminine counterpart from our society. And the galactic consciousness will conduct the idea of astral expansion. The idea, therefore, is that we shall proceed to demonstrate, alongside the triad phases of the workshop, the idea of the blending of the polarity of masculine and feminine energy within each and every being in the final culmination of the blended galactic energy. So there will be an underlying energy that will also be taking place, an underlying series of communications that will also be taking place aside from the actual vocal communications you will be hearing with your ears. We thank you in this way for allowing us at this time the opportunity to share with you such a multi-dimensional and multi-level co-creation and a shared dream. Before we now commence with what you may call our closing dialogue of the legacy, we will continue with question interaction briefly. Sharing!
Much love to you, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Okay. My one question would be regarding, let's see, how do I phrase this? Many years ago, I've had automobile accident.
All right.
And sustained injury in my neck.
Nice.
Have lived with pain, mostly on the right side for the past 20 years or so, it seems.
All right.
Okay, the other night I was fortunate to have a meditation which helped me release this.
All right.
And
exciting.
I know, it was wonderful. And tonight as I got up off a chair in my mother's house, my neck hurt for a moment.
That's all right.
Okay. Would you please help me define what caused the pain on whether it is stress, whether it is anger, and so that I no longer pick this up again?
The idea, first of all, to understand is that you have made a transition, that you have elevated yourself to a new level. The idea of having experienced what you may call the temporary, quote-unquote, lapse was not so much even a matter of stress, not so much even a matter of anger, but more a matter of testing yourself, of making sure that you had cleared the idea, that you had, in a sense, integrated all that you needed to integrate from having created that experience in your life that forced you to face certain things. You have accelerated yourself, no pun intended, highly. The idea is that many individuals will put themselves in certain limiting situations of that nature to clear out and process very rapidly, not over the course of many lifetimes, but over the course of a portion of one lifetime, many of the things that might have taken many lifetimes to process. When you force yourself into that kind of a mold, when you force yourself into that kind of a template, then many times you face certain things that you may have otherwise taken many lifetimes to face and process. You have processed many of them. As you rose, in that sense, within the framework of your maternal energy, you gave yourself one last reminder that A, it was your choice, that B, you have created a transcendence, and C, in a sense, it was a temporary test, just checking in, making sure that the alignment is still there. Now, it will lead you, in our perception, to many other things, to many realizations that you can be of assistance to other individuals within the things that you have learned, within the information, the knowledge that you have gathered with your experiences. You can now begin to function on the other side of the doorway, in complete freedom in that sense, in a complete sense of service. There are many things that you learn that you will now be able to share with many other individuals who will be experiencing similar manifestations to what you created for yourself with that degree of limitation. Are you following me so far? Are you following me so far?
On the intellectual level.
On the intellectual level. How do you feel right now?
Wonderful.
Then you are following just fine on all levels.
But I felt wonderful when I knew I was going to talk to you.
All right. But you see, you are not really talking to me, you are talking to yourself.
Yes.
And that is always a wonderful thing to understand, always a wonderful thing to discover. Now, the idea also many times is that we will, as we have just done to some degree, share what is called rapid-fire communication, so that you will make an attempt to focus a little more strongly on what is being said, and so that the real message underneath the words actually gets delivered. Because in a sense it disarms your analytical, intellectual, conscious self by creating it to focus on the words, while at the same time we deliver the true message underneath. In that sense, therefore, you have allowed us to slip something in which will now blossom and grow in a very natural way. You can, to some degree, think in the direction of now considering yourself one of the natural herbs of your planet, one of the natural flowering blossoms of your planet. You are going to expand mightily in that way. Rise up toward your sun, rise up toward the light, bathe in it, soak it up, let it fill you. Let yourself glow. Become one homogeneous energy with no idea that you are made of a collection of parts which can become disarrayed. Begin to feel yourself as one homogeneous light. And there will be nothing in you that can anymore, ever again, become misaligned. You understand?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes, it does.
One moment. May I ask you a question?
Of course.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do you like the animal upon your planet that you call raven?
I've had nothing to do with one. I have no idea.
Do you like them?
Yes.
You don't sound too sure.
Well, never having met one, I don't know.
All right. The next time you see one,
okay,
allow yourself simply to contemplate its form, contemplate its movement, contemplate its action. There is, in a sense, a reminder there, a connection there, that may allow you to turn one last key, to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that a new idea of yourself is truly solidly locked in. All right?
Yes.
One moment. You have inspired us also to share a few other things. Now, this may seem to be not connected, but there are levels of it that are. From time to time, We have discussed the idea, of course, that vocal language is vibration, that you give it its power, and sometimes the vocal language that you use is representative and reflection of the vibration that you are. Many times you will understand that the way your language is translated from our concepts through the channel takes on unusual patterns, unusual frequencies, unusual usage. An orchestration is taking place, and much of these vibratory patterns are actually what is responsible for the reactions and the openings that occur within you, the things that you allow to soak and seep within your consciousness and all the different levels you have created it to be. We have, to some degree, shared with you some of the ideas of our ancient language that we no longer use in that sense. We will share 2 more principles. Let them fall into place where they apply. Again, this may not seem to be immediately pertinent, but there are aspects that are. We have discussed the phrase in our ancient language, ili akar, which means basically experience. We have, shall we say, dissected the word in the understanding that ili is our word for mirror. And this will translate into any language in the same way it is constructed in our language. You would spell it in your language I-L-L-I, the reverse reflection of the first 2 letters. It is the reflection in the mirror. More literally, ili, in being referred to mirror, depending upon the context, will also refer to anything that is exchanged, anything that is returned. An echo can be called ili, depending upon the context. This whole notion of reflections, this whole notion of the return, of the exchange of information, of putting out a radiation which then is echoed back by your reality, by your surrounding, that whole idea is ili. Another understanding, plurality, singularity in our language. We have labeled our word Esasani. We call our civilization that. The people are Sasani. Now the idea of the usage of the term A and the usage of the term E will be the difference between the plural and the singular. In that sense, E sound will mean singular. A will be plural in that sense. An example, there is an animal in our civilization that exists in the ocean and would be similar to the idea of one of your seals per se. Very different in many ways. It has a bluish-gray skin, very rough hide in that sense, and a brownish fur collar. The idea is that in singular, this is called Nemba, but in plural, it is called Mamba. The idea, therefore, of Sasani is that the singular place of all of us, the singular place of all Sasani. Now, this language lesson, to some degree, has to do with the whole idea of the communication of yourself with yourself. Because as each and every one of you in the past has created yourself to be thought of as a collection of parts, in fragmenting yourself and fractionating yourself in that way, it requires a very analytical and sophisticated communication system to keep track of all those parts. Now that you are integrating yourself into one understanding, one consciousness, one homogeneous whole, communication within you is instantaneous. For it reaches all of you all at once. For you are all right here, right now. So there really is no separation between the idea of I understand it in my heart, I understand it intellectually in my head. It is all one understanding, created to be one understanding. Let it soak in, let it sink in whatever way it needs to, but at least allow yourself to begin with the understanding that you do know, you do communicate, you do understand in whatever way you need to. Let it process, let it unfold like the blossom, like the flower, as it does to the sun. We thank you for allowing us what appears to be this little divergence. We bid you pleasant and ecstatic dream life in dream time, which is the blending of the physical and the non-physical reality into one aware, awake state of malleable creativity. Dream time. We thank you.
Thank you, Bashar, and a big, warm, fuzzy hug.
Thank you very much. Many of you are quite a bit more fuzzy than we are, yes. Shedding!
Hi, my friend.
And to you, good day.
I don't really have a question.
Well, thank you very much. Make a statement.
I will.
All right.
3 years ago, the first night I went to see you, you shared with me my agreements, which to me sounded like science fiction.
All right.
And the joys that I've experienced since then are life fact, I guess. And I know that you feel every time I send love.
Nice.
And I wanted to thank you for,
Tis all right. We thank you, and we thank many for sitting at the table of sharing within the association.
Yes. They have been communicating quite frequently, and it's been my joy to find that the communications exactly parallel those that come from here on Thursdays.
We thank you for your synchronicity.
Yes, and for allowing myself to create confirmation, which sometimes we all really need.
Thank you very much for being your own confirmation.
Stephen sends love.
And to him as well.
And Rick.
Yes.
And, well, thank you.
Our love to you all. Shooting!
Greetings, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
It's been a pleasure to hear you in.
Speak up so that all may share.
It's been a pleasure to have fun with you this evening.
We thank you very much.
I have a question. We've produced a video on Sedona and on what we call the Aquarian principles, channeled by an energy named Aton. And I would just like from you any additional direction or guidance to continue on with my mission here and my service in doing what I need to promote this and further it. I'd just like to know what you receive.
We thank you. For now, we will say the same thing we said to another individual this evening of your time. It can help as a focal point. It can help as a focal tool and as a direction guidance system, if you will, in your calm and meditative states. Focus on the blue-white electromagnetic light. You will become your own compass needle, and you will know the way.
Thank you.
We thank you very much. And sharing.
Hello.
And to you, a good day.
I am like you. This is my first time.
We thank you.
Could you tell me where is my son and my nephew?
Not specifically.
Okay, thank you.
One moment. We will give you what in your earth terminology is called an apology. This is not our domain. There is another that can help you. One moment. All we can share at this time is as a suggestion to seek communication from the domain of the sea. There is telepathic linkage that can occur through the co-species upon your planet that inhabit your ocean of dolphin energy. They can come in your dream. They can come in your physical reality. They can open up lines of communication to those that you seek. For it will open up lines of communication from you to yourself within your own heart. And along that heart line can you send out a particular frequency of vibration that will attract you in no uncertain terms into a direct interaction with those that you seek. But this is not, as you say, our allowance. It is not, as you say, our domain at this time. We bid you love.
Thank you very much, and I bid you love too.
We thank you. At this timing, allow us the expression of the idea that we have termed the legacy. Listen with all the different types of ears that you have. Take us on one level literally, take us not literally at all. For we are now entering a true phase of the construction of dream time. As we spoke before, the understanding is that you exist on an energy level. We exist on an energy level. All things are made of the same energy, but there are different frequencies. Our frequency of reality to you is the idea of dream reality, etheric reality. Many individuals upon your planet have referred to what you call extraterrestrial consciousness as Etherian consciousness, and this is to some degree quite accurate. It is why it is in many ways easier for us to communicate with you in this way than using what you may call your physiological radio devices, for we operate on that frequency not at all. Biological senders and receivers are far more apt in that way once they are trained to identify with the energy of love in that sense and acceptance. The energy of light links all mentality. And you are linked not only to every member in your own civilization, but to all other civilizations as well, and sometimes in very specific ways to play out very specific ideas. We have been allowed at times to briefly discuss with you some of the notions now for some of the interactions taking place upon your planet that you have called in your language abductions, which we have chosen to call temporary detainments. We have reminded you that these interactions between your species and the alien species we have referred to as Zeta Reticulum are done through absolute agreement, even though on your part many of these agreements may be done unconsciously, and they are only brought to the surface reluctantly through the idea of the release of your fear. But you are serving each other in many ways. We have briefly discussed the understanding, as many of you yourselves are now beginning to realize, that your species operates on a very highly individualistic level, that their species operates on a very highly mass consciousness level, and that to each other you are extremely alien, extremely foreign. And just as much difficulty as you have had understanding the idea of how it is to operate as one consciousness, they have the difficulty of understanding what it is to operate as a single individual, cut off from the whole. In many ways, though they do not express it in exactly the same way, they have just as much fear and uncertainty about you as you do about them. You are learning to understand each other, and in understanding and blending with each other, you are performing services for each other. You are boosting and supporting each other's societies. You are aiding in each other's transformations. You are giving them what they need. They are giving you what you need, in that sense, to mature as a species, even as you allow them to mature as a species. They have come from a completely different direction in evolution. You have come from a completely different direction in evolution than each other. You are true polarities on many different levels, but now, through these interactions, through these givings, through these sharings, whether they are understandable on the surface or not, you have begun a true blending in many ways that will allow you both to mature, both to interact, both to become fast friends side by side in your expansion and exploration of the universe in many ways that you cannot yet understand, but in many ways that you will understand in the time to come. We have shared with you many times the arbitrary nomenclature that in many ways we have the existence of our evolution approximately 150 to 300 years beyond you. We have told you many times, in many cases, that this is an arbitrary nomenclature, and we will now endeavor to define and precisely explain the relative frequency of the time span of your reality and our reality. For there will be a seemingly time, a temporal paradox in what we are about to explain about your connection to us. It has already occurred to some of you. It has not occurred, quite surprisingly, to a lot of you. Once again, in many ways, what we are about to say you can take in many ways, on many levels, very literally. But understand it is also archetypal energy, the substream consciousness of your realm, of our realm, of their realm, the Zeta Reticulum. We have told you in many ways that we are the representation of your own future selves. And in many ways that is allegorical. In many ways it is quite literal. Reincarnationally speaking, and also as a representation of the parallel type of civilization you yourselves will create upon Earth. But there is one other way that we also mean it, that we have not really shared with you. For it actually has not occurred to actually quite a large number of you that even as we have endeavored to describe our physical reality, our physical appearance, you understand that we are an exact cross between the idea of your human shape and your zeta reticulum. We are the children of the blending. We are the hybrids that you are creating. We are your future selves and come back to remind you that there is a marriage going on that gives us reality, that supports us. You are, in many ways, our fathers and our mothers, and we are your children. And we send you our love across the ages. The idea of understanding is that this blending is taking place in your time frame, and that an evolution does occur where there is the population of our world in another dimension by the crossbreeding of what you call the reticulum and the earth human. And we are that population. And that is why we have remained in that other dimension, so that we would not interfere with the marriage that is taking place, so that we would not interfere with the consummation of that marriage, so that we would not interfere, in that sense, with your right to experience our birth from your own point of view. But now, because of the timing and because of the sharing, we can be allowed at this time with great joy to share with you that we greet you as your children. And we thank you for allowing us to reflect back to you the brilliant trust you have placed in us, the brilliant future you have given yourselves, and the brilliant present you have bequeathed unto us. There are many more levels to this idea, and we will share those in time as well. But understand that there is a distinct purpose in the creation of our species by the blending of yours and the reticulum. You are creating the future you desire in many ways. And do remember one other thing. Another thing that many of you sometimes do not stop to realize. In what we call our present, we are also side by side with your future Earth. And we interact together in joy, in harmony, in love. You are our legacy as much as we are yours. Our love to you. We thank you for your blessing. We thank you for your strength. And we thank you for your love and our life and our joy. And we only give you back what you have given us in allowing us to exist as we do. Infinite creation. Dream you into ecstatic creations of reality forever and ever. Shivai. Shivai. How'd it go? Thank you all for being here tonight and every night. I love you all too.
Yes, thank you, Darryl. Starting in 6 weeks, a new era for us all. Nothing more to say, but thank you very much for the co-creation for the last 4 years.